is the biggest deal out of everything.
I'll keep the audio around there so we can still hear your commentary, but it won't be talking over either of us, most likely.
All right.
Let's go. Cool. All right, so takes a second for the game to load in, especially because Maria has like the opening cutscene. Does Richter have an opening cutscene in Saturn as well? He does, right?
I think so.
He rides on a horse and comes in. That's cool. 11 months ago. Yeah, this whole year has flown by, Daigon. The splits that you're running against, those don't really matter, right?
Yeah, they're like many years old.
Okay.
I think this was my only. I keep doing this, like where I get one PB after I come back and I stop playing.
I do the same thing.
Same
honestly.
with my glitch list, the 3-minute PB.
Yeah, I did that.
Anyway, so
for a lot of them, yeah.
So this category I actually used to shit talk a lot.
As you do, yeah.
For being like the worst category, and it's way better now. After like Mijitsu came around and the whole round got a little bit tighter when we improved any percent a lot. This category also improved because there's way less. Also, Amber actually.
Yeah,
she improved
Amber.
a lot of stuff too.
Yep.
So there's like way less randomness than there used to be. The whole run's like much tighter and nice.
Yeah, originally it was pretty tough, like the MP route and stuff like that for Maria's movement was pretty tight, right? I know that was a big...
There was like a lot of randomness and weird movement that doesn't feel right, stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
But now there's much less of that.
So what you're saying is there's actual strats now?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, yeah.
More optimized, feels better to actually play.
Something you might notice, if any of you have watched the commentary that I did with Brooke, who has the world record in the PSP version of Maria All Bosses. This is the Sega Saturn version of Maria. This Maria, way more powerful overall. Like, she's boss fights,
beast.
Yeah, boss fights are gonna take like way less time. Oh, we dropped a little bit of frames there. I should be okay though.
That was the video, I think.
No, I dropped like 300 frames on OBS. Either way,
okay.
Should be fine though. But yeah, as I was saying, Maria way stronger in this version. All of Maria's spells are way more useful overall. Sub weapons you're not going to see used hardly at all, except for very specific scenarios. I have to guess, right?
Yeah. And even though she starts with 100 hearts and can max to 999.
Yeah, which is insane. Like, this is the version of Maria that doesn't really need to use hearts, but definitely starts with way more. I imagine like sub weapons can be useful, but compared to the spells that Maria has available, it's like, yeah, like right here.
This room is actually quite problematic to do, but we figured out a way to use just 4 beasts, which not only makes you invincible and makes you like do damage when you touch stuff, it also reduces lag. So as long as we can do all this movement here and preserve enough mana so that we have enough to kill Aurochs, then we're good. So that's why I had some kind of jumps and running around instead of just doing front kicks.
Do front kicks cost mana? MP?
So, okay, let me explain, I guess, that part about this character. The movement like sliding and front kicking and uppercutting, even if it doesn't cost mana, it stops the mana from regenerating. So you might end up...
I'm seeing that right now, yeah.
Stuck.
During the kick, the bar never ticks up, but when you're running, it does. That's so weird. Yep. I wonder why it's programmed that way. That's
this
wild.
fight is pretty important. I actually slightly mess up the strat, but you're still gonna get the gist of it.
Oh, I like that turnaround to avoid dive kicking onto the candle or the table.
You can kill Aurochs with a single dragon cast if you rotate it properly in the right place on his hitbox. I kind of move it up to hit his head afterwards. And he barely doesn't actually die, so I need to kick him a couple of times.
Yeah, it looks like you missed like 2 or 3 hits on him. Yeah.
It's there's a slight bit of RNG. You need maybe like a crit or 2 to for sure kill him every time. But you can make the setup without him actually teleporting, and that one is really fast.
Yeah, because before you would have to do like the flame spell plus a dragon or something.
Yeah, there are variations of it like that, or for beast, which is still slower than this.
Yeah, because it costs too much MP. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Doing
it would
that,
be just a bunch of kicks.
when you do that dive kick into the attack, that's the preserve forward momentum, right? Or is it just for fun there?
Yes, it does. It does preserve momentum, and for a very long time too, for the whole like recovery of the kick.
Gotcha.
So that's actually an improvement for any percent as well, not just for all bosses.
Yep. Yeah, overall the movement that Maria has access to is really cool. Maria has a triple jump, for example. You can like front slide very easily with Maria. You literally just dive kick into the ground, if I'm remembering correctly, after specific states, and you just get a front slide. I think after a forward kick like that, if you just slide into the ground, you'll slide.
Yep. Basically a front slide like Alucard.
Also, this route seems different from what I remember. If I remember correctly, when do you go back to the underground garden?
We're gonna go back
After
like
this?
right here after the warp.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you
pretty
you used the Aurochs warp immediately. Or I might be thinking of an old route or something.
No. I think this was because you need a certain amount of completion to be able to open that.
Oh, it's like
not
map
open at the
completion?
start of the game.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you just needed to reload
Or
the
boss
area.
skills or something like that.
I thought you just reloaded the area.
I honestly don't know.
Because when I did my Alucard casual playthrough, I think I went there immediately and died, if I remember correctly, because I was super under leveled.
I'm not surprised.
I just basically unloaded the area, then reloaded it. But I also did the Maria save corruption for Alucard, so.
I wonder if there's gonna be another place where I run into.
But yeah, this is the Saturn exclusive area we're going to be entering. It's very underwhelming, to be honest.
But in the speedrun, it's kind of cool because there's a lot of interesting movement to do there.
In general, this whole speedrun is just a lot of interesting movement, it seems like.
Yeah, so Maria, like the ways in which she differs from Alucard and Richter is that she's not invincible. So you need to figure out how do I do my movement in a way that I either kill stuff, go over stuff, or land in between stuff, basically.
Yeah, because when you're playing as Richter, you just blade dash, and blade dash is fully invincible at the middle parts of it. You only have to worry about the ends.
And it kills almost anything anyway.
Yeah, Alucard, obviously, infinite wing smashes, you're just fully invincible during the wing smash. So this, yeah, as you can see there, you got hit because you landed on top of a zombie, and then you had to readjust your movement from there.
And so here, as we enter the garden, immediately some strats had to be developed to like make that section smooth. I actually honestly don't remember how I do it in this run. Let's see.
Interesting. Yeah, because the route that I remember watching, which was a couple of years ago when I did watch Maria All Bosses, you guys just did like, or whoever it was that I watched, just did uppercut, dive kick over and over and over again. Yeah,
so here in this room, it's actually really hard to not get hit.
Yeah, look at all those.
The hitboxes of these vines are ridiculously big. So I need to do these kicks and then kind of stop my momentum at just the right place to land in between them. So that was a fun room to kind of figure out how to optimize.
Yeah, this boss is pretty boring.
Lag central.
Yeah, and I imagine it's the same on the way back. You have to land in specific spots there to avoid getting hit by those plants.
Yeah. Nice. It's not difficult, but it was interesting to kind of finagle Maria the position. This is like the worst looking thing in the game, by the way, by a long shot.
Movement wise, or
no, just the room. With the vines and the guys with the scissors, like it looks awful.
Oh yeah. It's just bad.
That was a perfect escape. That imp can hit you. Just kind of annoying sometimes.
Is it just like his pattern's random or something, or just if
I
you're
don't know,
slow?
Like, it's probably the way his AI activates or something like that.
Makes sense. And then you teleport back to Castle Keep. Makes sense. Yeah, this route makes sense in my head. So it's basically like the standard all bosses route, but you have to take a short detour for that boss.
Yeah, Richter all bosses with extra stuff. And this is the only extra thing in the run, effectively. This guy's gonna get DP so hard.
Oh my god.
This is kind of a
115 with a crit. That uppercut does a lot of damage.
Yeah, oh, it does. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, that was an optimization to that fight, because otherwise it was kind of annoying to get him out of the way.
That makes sense, yeah, because I'm trying to remember what that fight looked like. I think you just, like, dealt with him in a weird, awkward way. Again, it's been a long time since I've really watched Maria All Bosses. I watched it... I think I might have only watched Rom Scout's run that he did at GDQ, like, forever ago. And at that point, I think it was more of... I don't know. That was, like, back in, like, 2014 or something.
Yeah. That's still what it's based on, but
yeah.
There's some cool, like, boss strats. Oh, I really didn't want to kick that candle.
Yeah, that candle kick looked unintentional. 2013, you think? Yeah, somewhere around there. But that was, like, my first introduction to the category and what I remember the most about the category. And then, for the most part, the category, like you said, was kind of just, like, memed on and was considered bad and shitty. Dang, that's unfortunate.
Medusa heads.
Yeah, and then getting stuck on that ledge.
Kind of similar movement to Richter in this section.
Yeah, this...
So, yeah, Lesser Demon apparently is a part of this category. Memes aside.
Wait, what? Does Lesser Demon not spawn
whole...
for PSP, Maria? Is that what it was?
No, the first time I played this category, I blind raced it with mouse, and I forgot to do Lesser Demon.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I remember there was a meme in there somewhere. I just forgot what happened there. I was supposed to be...
did some bosses.
Yeah, I was supposed to be racing that with you guys, I think, and then I just never showed up.
That was for the tournament.
The tournament, that's what it was, yeah.
The blind thing was earlier.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is a cool strat. You charge the Buster, and then you demolish this room. She has so many unnecessarily super powerful things at her disposal.
So,
it doesn't make any sense. But it's really fun.
Yeah, you have the kick button in this game, and then you have like your magic blast button, which are two separate attack buttons. Oh, you got the Gray Flame.
I got a crit, yeah.
Yeah. So if you see Gray Flame, that means that it's going to do more damage. You're charging it up again here.
Yep.
So yeah, this like...
Way back.
Yeah, fully charged magic attack does the little laser beam there. Got unlucky from these Flea Knights, it looks like.
You can't dash in this room, so...
you have to preserve your momentum from before.
If you don't enter the proper way, you're just kind of losing time.
Dang. Yeah, save rooms are always weird like that. They're like a no-run zone for Richter and Maria.
Oh my god, I didn't remember this stuff.
Yeah, it looks like you had a scary time here.
See, this is why I hated this category before, because the way she moves is really cool, but it's kind of awkward. Because it's very committal, and she doesn't have invincibility, obviously, so once you get hit, it's rough to like get out of situations.
Yeah, it seems like trying to come up with backup strats might be very difficult depending on where you get hit and stuff like that. And getting hit is obviously like gonna happen since you're not invincible unless if you mess up the execution on anything. Oh my god. That skeleton.
I love this fight and how we optimize it. This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how you deal with Doppelganger.
We used to just shoot him with the Buster a whole bunch.
Yeah, that sounds
But now the fight
slow.
is like way cooler. I hope I do the new fight in this. I think I do.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
Some random inspired stuff.
Nice, yeah.
You can also double Guardian Knuckle him, I think.
Oh,
But
so
we
Guardian
decided
Knuckle into
this was
Guardian
more
Knuckle.
consistent, I think.
Makes sense. I mean, that it's
Is
like
that my HP? Oh yeah, that was my HP.
Your HP was super low, yeah.
But I think that's normal, kind of, for this category.
Yeah, it seems like it's not like you're intentionally damage boosting, but it seems like getting
You kinda
hit.
need to.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, oh yeah, 4 beasts is the thing. It takes like a second.
Just to ignore the enemies.
It's like 2 or 3 seconds to charge up.
It's a second, but it just feels like a long time just because in the run, it's like that.
Yeah, you usually hold it a tiny bit longer than you really need to.
Yeah. It's slightly more than Tetra.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing 4 beasts again for less lag and just to ignore these enemies and just be able to slide on the ground, which is the fastest movement.
I imagine it makes the movement more consistent. Did the switch just press after you landed on it? Like after you fell off of it? That was pretty interesting. It looked a little glitchy. It looked like you backdashed off and then it the switch went down. Are the different colors indicating of what spell is when a spell is gonna wear off? No, I think the video feed's just in 30 FPS. ASD. So it's supposed to flash between those two colors every other frame, I'm pretty sure.
Unless he's talking about the Buster charge.
Yeah, the Buster charge does change Maria's name, the color of Maria's name. But if you're talking about 4 beasts,
and
no.
The whole her sprite too.
Yeah.
Changed in color.
Oh, you missed.
I mean, I don't know honestly about 4 beasts. It lasts so long that you typically just exit the area.
Yeah.
I kind of missed some uppercuts there.
How does Maria interact with the water? I guess we'll never know. You just avoid it.
I don't remember.
Just avoid it.
Seems like we do the same old setup here.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because you're doing the out of bounds. I was like,
unfortunately, I think I tried to make her like crouch to make this faster, but the slide went too far forward.
Gotcha. Yeah, but that Scylla glitch where you leave the room that way, it's in every category for every character for the most part that ends up fighting Scylla.
Yeah, Brooke said that it's even in the
PSP,
DXC, so it's in every category for sure.
Yeah, every all bosses wants to get out of there as soon as possible. I do not blame you for using 4 beasts in this room. Fuck these frogs. Like we saw in the
even
PSP,
with, like optimal play, it would still end up being faster because you can just run through them.
Yeah, even in the PSP version that we saw, that's where a lot of resets happen. Just because those frogs in that tight hallway there, man, they're just assholes.
So yeah, this is a full minute of invincibility, and it doubles the damage of all your kick specials and uppercut.
Oh, that's another thing that is important. Yeah,
absurd.
you do more damage with all of your kicks and stuff
and
in this
cross
mode.
And Bible.
Really?
Yeah, they get double damage too.
Interesting.
In fact, we're gonna see that later. A lot of optimizations for bosses later came from using that.
That's cool. Yeah, you go out of your way for the extra health. I don't blame you. It's like less than a second time loss to grab it optimally.
Oh yeah, Granfaloon is another favorite optimization of mine that I came up with.
Yeah, I feel like that boss is.
I did it.
Yeah, you did the optimization yourself. You said.
Yeah, I hope I did it in this run.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay, yeah. I imagine Granfaloon's an awkward boss, because just thinking about Maria's moveset. Oh, you're supposed to kick through him to finish him off?
So
yeah.
Chat might be confused because I did fire on Cerberus and I did damage. So all of Maria's attacks do like mixed damage. So I either am doing fire and holy or lightning and holy. So she just kills everything. She doesn't care.
Yeah. There's a couple of moves that are like that for Alucard as well. I think, for example, Holy Water is both holy and fire at the same time. Stuff like that.
And probably Hellfire is dark and fire and dark and lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably... Oh, that explains why freaking Akmadon gets double exploded by Holy Water, because he's weak to fire and holy. Weak to both.
I don't know.
Because Holy Water definitely does more damage than like any of the other sub-weapons, even though every sub-weapon has holy attribute, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think that's just a property of how busted like the hitbox and
Oh, did you kill him
iframes are.
with that Hell Beast with the Guardian Knuckle?
I wouldn't be surprised. She does crazy damage for no reason.
Yeah.
Like he died too. Oh no.
Oh yeah, Guardian Knuckle is the only move that has invincibility, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess we should.
Well,
Yeah.
for Beast does.
And for Beast, yeah.
Okay,
obviously.
let's see this. I really hope I do this properly because this is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Maybe a little bit too early, but the uppercut will kill him.
Intentionally take damage, and then you use the little bit of iframes that you have to go for the flame spell there. That is really cool.
Yeah, and I have to double Bible as well. Oh yeah, Maria for some reason can cast 2 Bibles at once.
Wow.
You know, why not?
Yeah, they really wanted to make this character powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, you need all that to take him out as he gets out of the ground. And even if something like messes up with the strat, you just uppercut him and he dies immediately. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
So she's a fighting game character? Kind of in a weird way, yeah. But also much more mobile.
She's kind of Cammy in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you are using the last bit of iframes at the end of the Guardian Knuckle to dive kick or kick jump through them. That's what's happening, I think.
Yeah, with for Maria, if you get damage boosted or if you use Guardian Knuckle, kind of the best, or like as a recovery move, the best thing you can do is either immediately short hop to recover instantly and do a front kick, or just start matching on slides.
Yeah, because you have a decent amount of iframes.
That's a strat we use all the time in any percent.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's she gets a decent amount of iframes, more than the other characters. It feels like, or that might just be a Saturn thing.
I don't know. I think maybe she just is able to get out of the way as quickly as possible.
That's also possible.
Than the other characters.
Yeah. Yeah, regardless of what the actual frame data is on it, it definitely feels like Maria can get away with damage boosting and then just getting out of there. So
Richter definitely has quicker slides, but I think he gets knocked back for longer.
Yeah,
he has a harder time recovering.
Plus, like his hitbox gets extended on the slide in a weird way. I feel like maybe I'm wrong with that, but it just
Yeah, it definitely does. The balloon pods
show that
there to test that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, overall, outside of like 2-ish rooms, it seems like where you struggled a lot. This is a very decently executed run so far, at least the first castle.
There's still a lot of movement, like room strats to be made, and the thing is, for this character, you need room strats. You can't just do it because her movement is so, like the diagonal uppercut is really cool, but the geometry of the castle is very perpendicular.
Yeah.
You need to go up into the side and up into the side, and gravity boots and bat are good for that, and the Richter uppercut with the blade dash is good for that. But she doesn't really have a way to go sideways in the air other than the gravity jump.
That's
the
true.
uppercut that goes diagonally. So it's kind of awkward.
Yeah. Plus, that diagonal gravity jump has like 4 different jump arcs based off of how long you hold the direction for and stuff like that. It's very dynamic.
Yeah, it's complicated. It rarely comes up. Oh yeah, that door is misaligned in this version.
So you can just stand on it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice for the optimal exit there.
Oh, we go this way? Yeah, I guess so.
Just all bosses, right?
Yeah, for some reason I don't remember doing this with Richter. But I guess we must.
Yeah, this is the Richter route. It's the all bosses route is the same for in second castle, at least between the 3 characters. I'm 99% sure. Outside of the fact, and then we added in Alucard, we added the Richter movement in after Akmadon.
Leave me alone. Yep.
Oh my god, this room freaking sucks, dude.
And yeah, the other thing is, so Maria's buttons are flipped because she's based on the Japanese version. Well, she is in a Japanese version, so in order to bounce off of candles or enemies, you need to let go. You need to hold to go through them, so that can be a little bit annoying.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Whereas it's the opposite in, for like Richter, if you were to slide kick off of something, you hold the attack button to get the backwards flip. Whereas Maria, you have to do the opposite.
Yeah, in the NTC version, you do it the way we do it with Richter is flipped.
Mm-hmm.
With Japanese Richter, it's again like it's from Maria, so it can be a little disorienting.
I didn't know that it's the same for. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, this movement makes a lot of sense. You don't want to deal with these freaking golden skulls or anything. The triple jump is really nice here.
It's a little. It's not. You need to get pretty high jumps to do that whole thing.
Yeah, you don't want to mash on the jumps. You want to get max height on them.
And I did get the cross at some point. I don't know if I got the cross that's right outside in the clock tower, but cross comes into play in a huge way for the second castle. And it's one of the big optimizations that Amber kind of brought forth to this category, which made it way better.
Oh yeah, I just saw
because cross does a shit ton of damage.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, this cross sub weapon is definitely way better than Alucard's version. Alucard's version of using like Grand Cross is very bad. It's not very powerful.
Yeah. It would be really that's a huge miss for Alucard if he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't give it to him in Saturn.
Yeah, if he had just the boomerang crosses, that would probably be the best sub weapon. Much like it is in like every Castlevania game that has the boomerang crosses.
I mean, I think for the most part, all the sub weapons are pretty cool in Soten and useful. But yeah, it will be quite amazing.
Oh, you hit the candle there instead of the Jacko bones. That's awkward.
Yeah, because she has to double tap forward to dash and then do the front kick. It's like it's rough to do it in a tight spot because you're moving forward first of all, so you're likely to run into something or to miss position. Whereas Alucard just misbats or Richter just does the input and he's invincible immediately.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that kind of makes it difficult and awkward. I guess I should go over this. The way the front kick works is pretty cool. Like it's basically you can think of it as a wolf dash and then you just press attack or kick. And for that reason, she can do like a single tap kick.
Oh yeah, you can be holding forward and then release, repress, and then attack instead of double tapping it every time.
Yeah, that was one of the combinations that I did for any percent. So this is how we kill him now.
Nice, yeah.
It used to be Buster, but this does way more damage, and with the proper spacing and timing, he is gonna get comboed.
Yep.
And die.
Nice. Yeah, I like that fight.
Big deal because he dies way faster too.
Yeah, that fight is a pain in the ass otherwise, I would imagine. Or, well, it just takes longer, that is.
It just takes a very long time, yeah. Otherwise, you just charge Busters, and you try to charge enough for the level 2 shot. Oh. Yeah, here, Venus Weeds, I don't even want to...
Yeah, 4 Beasts seems like, how else are you going to get through this room? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this room...
If only DXC Maria had 4 Beasts for this room.
Yeah, DXC Maria, watching the movement through here gave me a freaking heart attack.
Look at the explosions coming through the ground. Such an amazing version.
Yeah, like... I will say those explosions are not lagging nearly as much as they should. And that's because of the 4 Beast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have shadows. That's one of the main reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not trying to render all of those, the trails falling behind. That makes sense.
Yeah.
God, this version is so jank. Obviously, good job fighting death there. Very difficult boss fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
But yeah, there's no cutscene or story bosses, so you don't have to fight Succubus, you don't have to fight Death, and then you don't have to fight. There's one more that I always forget. Minotaur Werewolf.
Minotaur Werewolf.
Yep.
Yeah. Yo, I didn't know that I did that room so good.
Yeah, that was good movement there.
Why am I so good at these 2 rooms and everyone else is too lazy to learn them? I'm looking at you, Dagon.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, why am I so bad though?
Never mind. Never say anything nice about yourself.
Be careful with mana too. Yeah, no Succubus. I don't know why. I feel like they could have, at least for Saturn, they could have made those fights work, but they chose not to. That's fine.
Oh, you also don't have to fight Maria in this version? I mean, you technically could.
Well, you can, but it's like
not
convoluted and
it's definitely
waste a lot of time.
It's not an intended, like, in any way. Maria's not supposed to fight Maria at all.
Yeah.
I wonder, do they have a time attack menu on the Sega Saturn version of the game?
Probably.
Because I wonder if the Maria fight, well, the Maria fight would show up in the time attack menu probably. Because I think getting
Maria doesn't have a time attack menu.
Yeah. Because I mean, the a la carte
this is what Amber did for this category, making it from really painful in RNG to just not having this issue at all. You just 4 beasts, stand in one of his legs, and just use the cross, and does 132 damage.
Wow. So yeah, it increases the power of the cross there, and that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way to get him stun locked in the top.
I mean, he pretty much does, but at the top you can, but that'll be slow.
Really?
This way he gets hit more.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Both of his legs get hit by the cross.
Oh, because each cross hit. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, that's basically where all the damage is coming from. So that makes sense. So that is strange. That's the only Galamoth fight that intentionally doesn't attack his head, where he's usually doing vulnerable to more damage. So that's interesting. Yeah.
The thing is also the damage number is so high that it would matter less.
Yeah.
Whereas for DXC Maria, she does 1 damage if she doesn't hit him in the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that she does much more otherwise, but yeah.
Same with
difference.
Yeah, same with the Richter fight. You don't want to use the sub weapon, the dagger sub weapon on his feet, because I think it does way less damage overall.
Yeah.
It would cost a lot of time. But that's a very fast fight, I will say, considering what I thought it was going to be. So that's probably one of the huge optimizations.
So it used to be really awful. It used to be you needed to do a full dragon on him, and then, the other way around. You needed to do a full 4 beasts with kicks, and then a dragon.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
double
like
4 beasts.
That's
was
all of your MP.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of RNG because sometimes he would just not die, and you would need to figure out how to kill him with a bit more damage. It was annoying.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Overall, just seeing Maria move around this way, and then like the different ways that you have available to you to do damage is very unique. Like you don't find this in any other, version or like category. This is definitely one of the categories that I want to pick up and play going forward, for sure. And I want to get a better Maria any percent time too, because my Maria any percent time's kind of trash.
I would definitely still say that 80% is a better category, but this one is good.
Yeah.
Finally. It used to be really annoying, and it's still, like, it takes some practice to get there, because if you don't have this movement, then the category gets really hard and annoying.
I imagine, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
It's awkward to move places. That's the thing.
If you don't have strats for individual rooms, if you don't have the boss fights down, I imagine like trying to do backup strats in any way in any of these rooms is going to be extremely painful. But yeah, any percent you don't really have that much of a problem. You just do the room strats and try and execute as best as you possibly can. It's a much more of a straightforward speedrun, I would say, in that way.
Yeah.
Oh, also I forgot.
So this is the old version of this zip. So this has been optimized since.
Yeah, there's a new zip that we do instead to go out of bounds. Well, it's not even really.
Yeah.
No. Oh. Where are you going?
You'll see.
This is different. Wait. Oh, because you end up here. Duh, I forgot that this was an option. Yeah, that makes sense because you're not going all the way to
Alucard can do this too. It just ends up not being quite efficient.
Yeah.
Unless you do it with a floor clip, but screw that.
Yeah.
You can floor clip on one of the towers in the bottom.
That sounds awful and slow. And no, we tested that. It's slower. 100%. I know we tested that and it was slower.
Oh, did we test it?
We tested it like 4 years ago, though.
What the fuck was... Nice.
Yeah.
It feels like
I remember talking about that.
Year to it most ago.
Yeah. Yo, thanks, Wing Zero Pilot. But yeah, I remember we talked about possible. I remember now that you say that we did the floor clip thing, that was definitely tested and found out to be slower. Especially because if you could go out of bounds the way that Maria does in this version, then it would just be way easier.
Like that meaty setup.
Yeah. I wonder if it'd be faster just to throw crosses and just cut out the spell animation there.
I don't know, honestly.
That might be worth testing at some point.
It might be even.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would save you MP at least, but it doesn't seem like you really need it.
Yeah, the route doesn't have MP issues anymore, which is another good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because before, much more spells were necessary to kill bosses, and then that means you had to specifically run through rooms to get your MP back instead of doing the faster movement options. Like, all these slides and all these kicks wouldn't be possible. And just running as Maria, it's like fast, but it's not... Actually, it's not that fast.
Good thing she has multiple jumps, because she doesn't have to deal with this room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, those spikes are annoying. Yeah, one of the things that's also important to note about the kick that Maria has is that you have to start it from the ground. Whereas, like, Richter doing blade dashes can just blade dash in the air on the ground, doesn't matter. Alucard can wing smash, obviously, in the air, wherever. But Maria, you have to plot out these, like, slides and kicks specifically while being grounded.
The scaly dancers control you here, too.
Yeah.
Like they can in many categories. Or at least in randomizer. So... Oh, there's a refill right here. Slowing down is, I think, a good way to make sure you hit them, but I had enough HP, so I didn't care.
Going for the HP refill for CV
I
Trio.
don't remember if we did something cool here. Let's see.
4 beasts.
Yeah, this input...
Yeah, the 4 beast input
not very
is...
fun to have to do it like 6 or 7 times in a run.
Yeah. It's a little tricky.
That's one thing that needs some practice.
Oh my. 159 per cross. Yeah, that makes sense.
I like how he gets stunned and frozen midair.
Yeah, he takes a lot
cool.
of hit stop whenever you hit him. Or hit stun or whatever. He gets frozen in place.
You know what this game is missing though? It needs gigantic counter that covers the whole screen, I think.
Yeah, that would make me much happier. How else are we supposed to know if it's a counter hit?
Yeah.
Actually, the game should freeze frame and move the camera around. Great idea.
It is 3D.
Yeah, write that down. Write that down. You just run and jump through this room. Oh my god, I'm trying to think. How do you do this room? Do you just do diagonal jumps? Oh, okay. It's the same angle, yeah.
Uppercut is really good, so...
Yeah.
Even if you get hit, it's fine, because she is really fast to get off of a stun.
Yeah, that room is a pain in the ass for Richter, all bosses speedruns. Like, you have to be very precise with your movement.
Yeah.
Alucard, it's fine, you just wing smash.
It's cool in PlayStation where you have to not touch the ceiling.
Yeah. Ooh, axe strats. I expected this, kind of. I was wondering if you grabbed the axe for this fight.
That's definitely the best solution, because she throws 3 at once.
And they're doing 70-something damage, 74 damage per hit.
Yeah. Yeah, they really made this character broken.
Yeah. They really
Lag is quite brutal.
They wanted her sub-weapons to be very powerful, it seems like, but they just made everything powerful, too, on top of that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the last boss that you had left. There's no extra bosses in the second castle or whatever, so...
Yep. No.
Yeah. And there'd be no point in using any of the extra second castle areas either. Like the... whatever, the prison and the garden or whatever. And
yeah, there isn't really anything there.
Yeah. They're barely in the game.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah. This category is already the longest, it seems like, out of all the all bosses categories. It's mostly due to lag and load times and stuff, but
yeah, and this is emulator. It's even longer on console.
Yeah. Yeah, emulator doesn't experience nearly as much slowdown as the original hardware.
Yeah, that's why it's separate. It's way faster. Now, the times on the board are lower, but that's because they don't have loading times.
Yeah.
There's a ridiculously painful process that any Maria console run needs to go through to get verified, but worth it for the level playing field.
Yeah, because different Sega Saturn revisions, there's like a bajillion of them apparently. They all load the game at different times. Like each individual console is going to load differently. I don't think we've seen any of the runners have similar or exactly the same load times between versions or between consoles.
One final four beasts.
Yep.
For Shaft.
This is going to be the final fight in the game.
Honestly, that might come to maybe just for the top times in Alucard and Richter at some point in the future.
Oh, like
Depends
eliminating lag and loads or whatever.
Yeah. Frame counting without loads.
Yeah, that makes sense, depending on console variations and stuff like that. But it's much less pronounced on Xbox 360s, at least, it seems like.
I like PBs like this. -4 minutes.
Yeah, that seems like in the miscellaneous certain categories more common overall. Especially the longer categories.
I mean, Maria really shouldn't be a miscellaneous category, but people, I don't know why they're not playing Maria. Guys, Maria's the easiest character to pick up.
Yeah.
By a
large margin. Maria any percent. I'm gonna go over some Maria any percent on stream as well. When I don't know if I'll try and get that record at some point, but at the very least I want to get like a sub 7 time, which is basically where the record's at right now. So maybe very close to it. It depends on how I'm feeling, and I also have to relearn a lot of the strats, learn the new strats, stuff like that. So overall, great showcase of the category. Pretty well executed. As you have told me before, there's still room for improvement, but
absolutely. But the biggest thing in this run in particular was the optimizations to the bosses in a few key rooms, like the garden, the whole section of the garden. That was a very that's why those, funnily enough, the sections that seem most optimal in this run are the sections that were the most annoying previously, and that's why they got optimized first.
Makes sense, yeah.
The other areas that are more straightforward, they need work now, but
yeah,
haven't really been explored much.
It's like an actual speedrun category now instead of just a meme, which is good.
Yep.
All right, cool.